In this interview series, Rick Stiggins, founder and president of the Assessment Training Institute and Classroom Assessment Authority, promotes the effective use of formative assessment to support student learning success. He does so by answering a series of 11 questions posed to him by the Alberta Assessment Consortium. How do we balance the need to report with the need to support learning?
The way we balance them is by creating balanced local assessment systems. This isn't large-scale assessment, province-wide, district-wide, national, international. This is local. And I have here in my hand a framework for the creation of a balanced assessment system that I want to describe for you just briefly because it makes the point that I want to make here about the variety of things we need to be able to do with assessment productively at the local school district level. So what my little chart does is that it has 3 levels at which assessment take place. There's the classroom level of assessment, there's interim benchmark assessment, periodic assessments, and there's annual assessment. And so those are 3 different contexts within which we use assessment. And my little chart has 3 columns then. One says formative assessment. These are purposes or ways we use assessment. Formative assessment to manage instruction. That's for teachers. Formative assessment for learning that brings the student into the equation in partnership with their teachers, and then summative assessment of learning, which is the accountability column. You'll see if I have 3 rows and 3 columns, I create a 9-cell table. And within each cell, this system operates on the definition of assessment. Assessment is the process of gathering information to inform instructional decisions. Well, it turns out that within each of the 9 cells, there are instructional decision makers who have information needs that allow them to make the decisions that they need to make. For example, in the classroom assessment for learning for managing instruction, the teacher is the key decision maker. And the key decision is what comes next in my students' learning. And so what that person needs is information on standards mastered or not mastered by students in my class. Now, listen carefully as I read the same 3 things for the formative assessment for learning enterprise. In this case, the key decision maker is student and teacher team. And the key question is students asking, what comes next in my learning? And so what they need is student-friendly targets in learning progressions with evidence of the student's current place in their learning progression. My point here is that as we go through the various 9 cells of this table, there are different decision makers with different information needs who make critically important decisions. Each cell makes a unique contribution to student academic well-being that the other cells can't make. My argument is that we build balanced assessment systems when we build those systems, and this comes out of my Perfect Assessment System book and the Leader Guide that we developed. It's in a variety of places in our program. But the point is there's a unique contribution of each cell, and so we build balanced assessment systems when we build them to meet the information needs of all assessment users, not just those who make their decisions once a year in the boardroom. The key is to understand that if we spend all of our resources, which is common, on annual large-scale testing and leave nothing for the other cells of this table, we don't build balanced assessment systems. And furthermore, and far more important, we fail to meet the information needs of key data-based instructional decision makers, students, teachers, parents, and others who need a different kind of evidence far more frequently than once a year, far more precisely than large scale. The information needs are different. We balance when we build the system to meet the information needs of all assessment users. And that's my aspiration. We know how to do that. We need to move quickly in the development of balanced assessment systems in these terms.